Welcome to That's Good Sports, the original home of profane sports commentary. I'm Brandon Perna, and I've said every forbidden word in combinations that even George Carlin would have found impressive on this show. But there are two words that I have never used here. This week, play-by-play announcer Thom Brennaman said one of those words on a hot mic, and Hornets announcer John Focke tweeted the other of those two words, and now both guys might lose their jobs. Before we get into the segments where I have to be very careful about what I say, let's have a laugh at ESPN's Tony Reali taking an always hilarious nut shot. And the sports Emmy goes to Tony Reali for My Nuts Reali Hurt. Now, nuts down, the best part of this clip is how happy the little girl looks despite the excruciating pain punctuated by the face of Around the Horn host Tony Reali. Out of respect, Woody Page changed his name to Flaccid Page for one day on the show. There's a lot to talk about today. Are the Patriots really considering multiple quarterbacks? The fake Yannick Ngakoue trade, legal prostitution, Dave Portnoy may become the ultimate NFL troll, and more NFL news than you can handle. All in today's episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you're already subbed, do that notification button. Today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped.com/goodsports and the Perfect Package 3.0 kit, which features high-performance boxer briefs. Anytime you can point to your groin and say high performance, do it. The Perfect Package 3.0 comes with the new Lawnmower 3.0, a water-resistant body hair trimmer built with skin-safe technology to reduce nicks and cuts down in your penis, balls, pube, testicles region. Once you have your crotch manscaped to your liking, cover the family jewels with Manscaped's anti-chafing cooling boxer briefs. Now your balls, they need to breathe. They're basically the lungs of your legs, and these boxer briefs help them do just that, as they're made from a super soft Contour Flex material, which is a microfiber blend that also repels moisture. So, if you don't want to suffocate your balls, go to manscaped.com/goodsports with my link below to get 2 free gifts plus 20% off plus free international shipping. I have bad news for Bills fans. Scam artist and Patriots loyalist Dave Portnoy is trying to pull off his biggest heist to date. New Era Field pulled out of its deal as the naming rights partner for the Buffalo Bills, which means the organization will be seeking a new naming rights partner for their stadium. For now, it will be Bills Stadium. Now, Dave Portnoy, if you believe his Twitter account, is entering the bidding war for the Bills Stadium. Barstool Stadium would actually be a great fit for Bills fans, but there is no way in hell the Bills Mafia can allow a Patriots fan to own the stadium name. That would be the ultimate troll move by Portnoy. Even if the Bills beat the Patriots, you'll have the biggest dick in sports saying, "The Patriots may have lost, but I still own the Bills," literally. I'll keep my eye on this, and if necessary, start a GoFundMe to outbid Portnoy, unless that idiot Portnoy buys my YouTube channel for $10 million. God, I would hate it if he did something stupid like that. It should just be called Bills Mafia Stadium, where the hits keep coming. Bills Mafia Stadium. We'll drink a shot of vodka out of your ass crack. Maybe go with Stadium. Cincinnati Reds and NFL on Fox play-by-play announcer Thom Brennaman, spelled Thom, interrupted his own apology with a home run call last night. Now, during the Reds doubleheader in Kansas City, Brennaman was caught on a hot mic saying,
"The fag capitals of the world."
Yikes. Unclear what city he was actually talking about, and I kinda doubt he was referring to Kansas City. Either way, everyone watching heard it, and when he and the network realized it, he got in front of the camera to apologize, knowing full well that he was in the process of being canceled and soon enough would lose his job. But right as he was apologizing, saying how much he was a man of faith, Reds outfielder Nick Castaños crushed a ball to left, and Brennaman actually interrupted his own apology to call the home run and update the score.
I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again. I don't know if it's going to be for the Reds. I don't know if it's going to be for my bosses at Fox. I want to apologize for the people.
This is clearly the case of instincts just taking over. Like a mother lifting an SUV to save her child. Or a father picking up Taco Bell 6 nights a week to feed his family while mom is away on business. That'll probably be the last home run he ever calls for the Reds, so I'm glad he got it in as the ball ironically flies right into the judgment-free zone after the batter takes his swing in front of 2 progressive signs. From one announcer who definitely did drop a slur to one who tweeted another, albeit I believe an accident. Charlotte Hornets announcer John Focke was at home watching the Jazz Nuggets game. A tremendous back and forth affair on Monday when he decided to send an innocuous tweet. Instead, it came out like this. Shot making in this Jazz inward game is awesome. Murray and Mitchell going back and forth, what a game. Obviously, you don't need to defend someone who uses the N-word purposely. But I think this was an accident. And I can relate because I once on Facebook, years ago, asked which Broncos tight end will have a bigger year. But I hit the N next to the B, and I too forgot to proofread that shit before I posted it because I post stuff so frequently that sometimes your mind becomes absolutely numb to seeing what you're actually typing. Luckily, nobody fucking really followed me at that time, and I was able to delete it before anyone screen capped it and ruined me. Had I not done that, I might find his mistake a little bit harder to believe, but I've been there. The Hornets immediately suspended Focke and are launching an investigation into the matter. Here's my investigation. It was an obvious mistake. A bad one, but a mistake. He fat-fingered it. His only crime was not rereading the tweet before hitting send. If they put in 5 minutes of critical thinking, the Hornets should be able to come to a similar conclusion. But if he ends up losing his job, that's going to be a serious overreaction in my opinion. From all accounts, Focke is one of the nicest guys in the NBA media and has nowhere near a history of this kind of stuff. A lot of things that are chalked up to cancel culture are warranted. Say if he had actually meant to tweet the N-word. But this would be a case of cancel culture effectively ruining a 40-year-old man's career. Thom Brennaman, on the other hand, sucks at his job and meant what he said and should be fired. Yet people are still defending him, even though his intent was derogatory. Intent is what should matter in these situations, right? Like, if you want to intentionally say the N-word and still work in sports media, you just need to own your own company. This just in, prostitution is legal in Florida. At least it is if you're a billionaire like Robert Kraft. Per an Associated Press story, a Florida appeals court ruled Wednesday that police violated the rights of New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft and others when they secretly video recorded them paying for massage parlor sex acts, barring the tape's use at trial and dealing a potentially deadly blow to their prosecution. I'm just glad justice was served here, and we can no longer worry about the rights of Robert Kraft, instead of the women who were sex trafficked into sex slavery, and worst of all, had to touch that old man's soft-serve penis. This also essentially means the very direct, incriminating, irrefutable evidence that the prosecution likely based their entire case around will now go directly into the trash, much like a Tom Brady cell phone. It also reminds me of another time when the New England Patriots had tapes destroyed in a different scandal. Videotapes 0, Patriots 3. We had a classic duping on Twitter yesterday. Former something or other front office guy and Bill Simmons' friend Mike Lombardi reported that the Jaguars had a deal in place to trade edge rusher Yannick Ngakoue somewhere for a second-round pick. A sneeze lets you know what you're saying is a lie. Anyway, a fake Adam Schefter account then said Ngakoue had been traded to the Ravens for a third-round pick and Gus Edwards, who was our very own most underrated Raven in that episode we did here. Very clearly fake, but Lombardi bid on it and immediately criticized Jags GM Dave Caldwell for a trade that didn't happen. Criticizing a phony trade sourced from a fake Twitter account, stemming from speculation, makes Mike Lombardi as much of an NFL source as I am. Welcome to the Lonely Hearts Club, Mike. The water is disgusting. This is probably a good time for a PSA. Don't tweet out your hottest takes until you can confirm what you're actually tweeting about. You wouldn't lash out and blame your adopted parents for your shitty DNA, would you? Thanks for the male pattern baldness, Mom, and the tiny penis, Dad. Or do I have Mom's penis? Son, we've been over this. You did not inherit our DNA. Sorry, that was a weird analogy. After that fiasco, I'm not inclined to believe anything about Yannick Ngakoue until I know for a fact that he's been traded to the Chiefs and immediately given a 5-year, $90 million extension. Back to the Patriots, Bill Belichick told the media he would consider using more than one quarterback this season. Hell, more than one QB in a single game, which tells me that the Patriots will be using precisely one quarterback this entire season. Let's not beat around Robert Kraft's bush. Cam Newton will be the starter as long as he's healthy. This may end up being true, but it's one of those technically true statements because as long as Mohamed Sanu is lined up at wide receiver, he's technically a second quarterback.
On Wednesday, Belichick was asked if he would consider a platoon system at quarterback, utilizing players' different skill sets to their advantage. Belichick said, "Of course I would. I would consider doing anything that would help the team win."
I get it, okay, NFL Network? My views are way down right now, too. Even though football is 3 weeks away, nobody gives a shit about training camp news. But the NFL Network really ran with this QB platoon idea.
A platoon system at quarterback.
The only platoon Belichick will use this season is the movie to motivate his team before a game.
I am reality.
Just keep your pecker hard and your powder dry, and the worm will turn.
Baltimore Ravens receiver Hollywood Brown added 23 pounds of body weight in 2 months. This was the third and final step in Brown's quest to become an American citizen. Step 1, name yourself after an American city. Step 2, show record of employment. Step 3, if you want to live in America, you gotta look like Fat America. Brown finished last season weighing just 157 pounds. You cannot be a wide receiver in the NFL if the only route you run is a skinny post. Now, people were wondering what Mike Zimmer was listening to in this picture. And after doing some journalistic digging with Mike Lombardi, I have the answer for that question. Here's Mike Zimmer listening to the hottest track from the summer of 2020, which is saying something since it's the hottest summer on record. God, I'm good with words.
Talk your S word, bite your lip, ask for a call while you ride that D word. You really ain't never gonna F him for a thing. He already made his mind up before he came. Now get your boots and your coat for this wet ass P word.
Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And please do not try and convince Dave Portnoy on Twitter to purchase my YouTube channel for the price of $10 million. That would be embarrassing.